What the hell? What the helly? What the helly Burton? Honestly, I am just lost for words for this game one of the NBA Finals. If you're Adam Silver, you're kicking your feet up. You're looking at everything that just happened in this game, all the criticism that the league has faced because of the quote unquote two small market teams and how it might not be a good NBA Finals. And you're looking at this game one, seeing the Indiana Pacers battle back from as down as 15 against the number one seed and the MVP to just steal a game with Tyrese Halliburton, who hasn't had the ideal game. And I know we've had that conversation of, is he a superstar in this league? And if you're a superstar, you need to be consistent. And just him having a poor game one and ending the game on a heartbreaking game one buzzer beater, man, honestly, I got a bone to pick with every single person who said this was going to be a boring NBA Finals. This game one is a testament of how the postseason went for both of these teams. The Pacers, I believe, 7-2 in close games. You had the game against the Knicks where they battled back. Tyrese Halliburton hit the choke sign, and then also against the Cavs. And then you just had OKC pretty much just dominate the entire Western Conference. Obviously got taken to 7 games against the Nuggets. But the game one that we saw is how these two teams have made their postseason run. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous through the first 3 quarters seeing the Pacers dig themselves a hole essentially against the Thunder, whose defense was just sensational through the first 3 quarters. And then the Pacers, just turnover after turnover. But I will say the Thunder, despite having that many turnovers, not really generating that much points off of it, which essentially let the Pacers get back into this game. But I was a little bit nervous that I was like, this might be what the entire series will be. Just the Thunder completely dominating on both ends of the floor, especially defensively. And I thought the Pacers would not find anything offensively. And then down the stretch, you see Obi Toppin just getting it going. Miles Turner banking in threes. Andrew Nembhard becoming that primary ball handler because Tyrese Halliburton wasn't being that good. And then the Pacers just battle their way back continuously. They chip it to 6. OKC gets a little bit on the board. Then they cut it to 3. Then cut it down to 1. And then Tyrese Halliburton get hit, calling game down the stretch. This video would have been completely different if the fourth quarter did not play the way that it did with the Pacers coming back. I prepared all these notes about how Indy has too many turnovers. However, OKC was not capitalizing off of that. And I will say, shout out to the officials. I know through like the regular season and the beginning of the postseason, we talk about how the officials take control of the games, but there was a lot of no calls and it was just pure physical basketball. And I think that is how these two teams play, especially defensively, where they're getting physical. You see, Alex Caruso, getting physical, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, both of them, all of them, Lou Dort also just being able to be themselves defensively, and essentially the officials not taking control of the game. And I think that's why we only saw SGA, aside of like intentional fouls, head to the line a handful of times. And shout out to the officials who officiated a really good game, and I would not be sad. This is honestly the best basketball that we've watched this entire season, and it has the potential. And I know we have the conversation that, it's not a star-studded NBA Finals. You have a 4-seeded Pacers against a dominant OKC Thunder team who is fighting for the face of the league in the SGA. But I think it'll be a really good NBA Finals, and one of the better ones that we've seen in the most recent years. This just all goes down as Indy's execution late in the fourth quarter. They trailed the whole game, being as down as much as 15 in the fourth, and then just chipping away. But I'll say, for the first time in this game, the Thunder looked stunned. They didn't know how to respond against the Pacers' run. And that's just how we've seen it against all the teams that the Pacers have played this postseason. How they can't respond to the Pacers' run. The Cavs, the Knicks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. When the Pacers go on that clutch late fourth quarter run where everybody's hitting shots, they're getting stopped, and then Tyrese Halliburton's just delivering in the clutch no matter how he's performing throughout the game. It's just the opposing team doesn't know how to respond, and that's what we saw from the OKC Thunder. Despite a 38-point performance by Shea and Isaiah Hartenstein, he was huge coming off the bench. Your role players were doing well. Just Lou Dort hitting triple after triple, and the Indiana Pacers somehow find a way to steal game one on the road. Man, it will be interesting to see how the Thunder do respond. If you're the Thunder, you played a perfect basketball game. You forced the Indiana Pacers to have 18 turnovers in the first half, and then you're jumping off to a 10-point plus lead. Mind you, this is against one of the fastest playing teams in all of basketball, the Indiana Pacers, who get up and down the floor in transition, and you're allowing them to force turnovers. You have Tyrese Halliburton, who is has the lowest assist to turnover ratio in the NBA, and you allow the Pacers to be careless with the basketball, and then you're generating points offensively. Lou Dort with, I believe, a stretch where he had like 5 threes. Alex Caruso's getting it done on the defensive end. Isaiah Hartenstein, big off the bench. He had a few baskets, I think like 7 points in the first half. SGA getting it going. I believe he had like 20 plus in the first half. You literally played how you wanted to play if you're the Thunder, and then you just collapse in the fourth quarter. And it's just a testament to how clutch and good the Pacers are in the fourth quarter and in crunch time. But it's just like, how do you respond if you're the Thunder in this situation? Because you have essentially one of the best games that you could ever ask for in a final, and you still somehow managed to lose in a heartbreaking fashion. Just everything that could go wrong in the final moments went wrong, aside from that Nuggets game where Aaron Gordon hits a clutch 3 and you're fouling up 3, but that's a whole different conversation. But man, I think if you're the Thunder, it'll be interesting. If you're a fan and you're doubting this final, saying that it's not going to be interesting, you see this high level basketball that's being played and this entertaining game as a whole, I hope you change your mind for game 2, because the Thunder, they're gonna find a way to respond, and the Pacers, you're running high off this win. But like Tyrese Halliburton said during that post-game interview, it's not over till the clock hits 0. We're in a league where no lead is safe. A 10-point lead, a 15-point lead, hell, even a 20-point lead doesn't matter. And we're watching good basketball. Game 2 is gonna be a movie.